Hello sir, good morning. My name is Marnel Arculan, and today sir, I'm going to answer the final project that you had gave to us sir. The number that I will answer today sir is the number 1, 2, and 3. The laboratory room must have a domain with one server and 40 client computers. Your network is a Class B network. Install and configure the server so the client computers will obtain their IP address automatically from the server. Your server should have a fixed or static IP address. There are 8 class sections with different subjects who will be using the laboratory room, and each class has a different teacher and every class has 40 students. So let's start sir. Go to the Windows server. This is my server. I'm going to open my server. Lalag. Password 1, 2, 3. Enter. While waiting, I'm going to pause the video. This is my server now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to configure first my server. First, I'm going to set their IP address, the Class B network. I'm going to set the IP address. Double click, then click use the following IP address, then type the IP address. Let's say 128 dot 0.0.2. Then the subnet mask 255.255.0. Then the default gateway, let's say 128.0.0.1. Then also the preferred DNS server 127.0.0.1. Then click the OK. So done the configuring the network. So next one is the provide computer name and domain. Then here, let's say the computer name is server -1. Okay, then close, then restart. So after, I'm going to pause again the video. I'm going to open now. One, two, three. So next one I'm going to configure is OOBE. So we can see now there are now the full computer name, then also the IP address to my server. Then next thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to the add roles. In the add roles, I'm going to add the Active Directory domain services. then next, then install. While waiting the installation, I'm going to pause again the video. So the installation is done. Close. Next, I'm going to do is go to the start, then the search panel, type the DC promo, then enter. Then here in the DC promo, click the next, then click choose the create a new domain, new Paris radio button. Click next, then here type the what Paris root domain name that you want to use. So me, call that local. Then next, then while waiting, I'm going to pause the video. Here, first thing that you need to do is look what Windows Server Paris functional level. Me, Windows Server 2008 R2. Click next. While then click next. Then choose yes. Then next. Then here, insert your password. Password 123. Password 123. Next, then next. While waiting, the installation finish. I'm going to pause again the video. Then after the installation, click finish. Then restart now. So while waiting the restart, I'm going to pause the video. So I'm going to log in. Password 123. Then next step is I'm going to create 8 subjects, and each subjects it contains 40 students, and every subjects they have different teachers. So I'm going to create use 8 subjects. To create a subjects, go to the administrative tools, then look for the Active Directory users and computers. So server 1.call.local. Then here in the call.local, click the additional sign. Then here click the call.local, then right click, then click the new, then organizational unit. Uncheck this, because if you want to delete the OU or the subjects that you enter, you can delete easily. Because if you did not uncheck this, you will not delete easily the OU that you create. So the first subject I'm going to insert is the NSTP. Then the NSTP, I'm going to show you how to create a user. New, then user, then let's say stud1. Copy, then in the user logon name, paste, then click next, uncheck this, then click enter the password of the student user. So in the questions that you had gave, sir, that you said that create 8 subjects, and each subject it contains 40 students, and each subjects they have teachers, one teacher. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to repeat the steps that I use, how to create subjects and how to create users. But now I'm going to pause the video, then I'm going to create another subjects and another user. I'm going to create a 320 student user and 8 is teacher manually, so it takes time. So I'm going to pause the video, and after done I created 320 users and 8 teachers and 8 subjects. I will show you the output. So I'm going to stop, pause. So now I already done creating 8 subjects, and 8 subjects it contains 40 students and 1 teachers. Let us see. Here are now the students from Filipino subjects, then the teachers, and also the MGT 11. I created the 40 users, and also the MGT 10, their teachers, the Soksai 40 users and 1 teacher, 40 students user, programming also, then the electronics, then the PE, and also the NSTP. So what I'm going now to do is I'm going to add and config the client computers. So I'm going to show you how to add the computers into the domain. So before that, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to the server manager. I'm going to add roles, add the DHCP. Go to the add roles, then click next, then check the DHCP server, then click next, then here I'm going to see what are the IP address of my server. cmd IP config. The IP address on my server is 128.0.02. 128.0.0.2. Let us validate if correct, valid. So next, then click next, then here in the add, let's say the scope name, call that scope, then the starting IP address, the question that you had give sir, that they say that there are 40 client computers. So the IP address that I'm going to set, 128.0.0.10, then The ending is 128. That's 0.0. That's 0.50. Because they only have a 40 client computers, so they are starting 10 then end to 50. So it will be the range of the IP address and the ending. Then in the default gateway, type the IP address of your server, 128.0.0.0.2. Then click OK. Then click next. I'm not using the DHCP v6, so I'm going to disable. Then next. Then install. While waiting the installation, I'm going to show how to connect the client computers and the server in the you need to configure here in the go to the network settings but here click the network settings. You just right click here, then choose the network settings. Naglag. Then change the NAT into internal network. Then okay. I already done the installation, so I'm going to close. But before that, I already opened my Windows 7 client computers. So I'm going to show you how to configure the Windows 7, how to connect in the server. First, you need to also change the NAT into internal network. Click OK. Before I connect these client computers in the domain, I'm going to first config them. I'm going to show you, sir, that these client computers are still not configured, still in the work group. As you can see, still in the work group. So I'm going to disable first the Windows firewall before I connect these computers in the domain. System security, then the Windows firewall. Turn off Windows firewall. Turn off. Then okay. Then next is go to my computer. Wait, here in the network sharing center, then the change adapter settings, then here, then the properties, then here, then check. So now they are now connected, but the problem later on, the problem that I encountered is I did not here. I forgot to disable the internet protocol version, so we need to disable this. Then okay, then go to the client computers, then right click, then properties, then double click the internet protocol, then click OK. It automatically search the server. So now they are now connected into my server. So what I'm going to do now is let us try to ping the server here in the client computers. So let's say let us try ping that 0.0.2. Let us see if let us see if the connection is working. So request timeout. So what I'm going to do now is the IP address that I type is wrong. So let us try to once again ping 128.0.0.2. So as we can see now, there are connections from the server. So let us try this client computer also to ping if there are connections from server. So go to the server, then do the same procedure, cmd, then look the IP address of this client computer. So what the ccmd, then ipconfig, ipconfig -all. Sorry. But I think the IP of the client is the 128.0.0.100 I10. These are the IP address of our client computers, because as in the add scope I start in the IP range, I start in 10, then the ending of the range of the IP address is 50. So let us try to ping. So as we can see, there are connections between the client computers. But last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to log in a users here in the client computers. I'm going to log off, and I'm going to find a users that I'm going to log in the client computers. Let's say the NSTP subjects, and I'm going to log in this user, teacher NSTP. I'm going to restart. While waiting the shutdown, I'm going to pause, but I forgot because I remember that I did not yet done to add these client computers in the domain. So what I'm going to do is go to the computer, right click, then go to the properties. Here in the properties, click the change settings, then go to the change, then in the domain here type the domain of your server. So the name of the domain name of my server is call.local. Okay, then the administrator account, administrator, then password 123. So click OK, then close. So I'm going to restart now the client computers. While restarting, I'm going to log in the teacher NSTP. While waiting, I'm going to pause the video. So I'm going now to log in the switch user, other user, then I'm going to double check teacher-nstp, caps lock teacher-nstp, then the password 123. Nagbayag. I'm going to pause. So as we can see now, the user that access on these computers, client computers, is the teacher NSTP. So that's all, sir, and once again, sir, good morning.